When you want something done right, do it yourself. That is probably my favorite quote of all time. Out of everything in the world, that is probably the quote I most relate to in my day-to-day life. I I'm a very detail-oriented person. I'm a very like attentive person, and whenever I'm assigned a task, it'll get done and it'll get done correctly. One of the main things that I hated throughout high school was group projects, solely based on the fact that I knew I was going to do my part correctly. I wasn't so sure about the others. There have been numerous times where I had just taken the assignment and just done the entire thing myself, gi- giving them the free pass, the free grade, but I knew in the back of my head that if I didn't and I let them do their fair share, I was not going to get a passing grade. Um, it's one of those things where you don't really think about it, but you go you get a amount of time to think, and you go, wow, this sucks. Like having to do everything yourself all the time, but I kind of like the fact that I do everything myself because it gives me a sense of control over whatever I'm doing, but it also makes me feel important. Makes me feel like I'm a valuable asset. Now, going back to that example I gave, there were as much as like I hated doing all of the work for an assignment like that, I kind of just did it and didn't really complain about it because in the back of my head I know that these guys they can put a good amount of effort into whatever they're doing and get like a passable grade, but that wasn't like good enough for me. And like I knew exactly how to do their portions, and I knew that if I could do their portion and I can give it at 100%, and I don't know how much of this portion they can like I don't know what percentage they can give of it. I'd rather do the extra work, give myself that assurance that I've given the 100% in that like category, and and then take my 100 grade and be like, hell yeah, like I did that, you know. Makes me feel good at least. And there is an element of it where you at some point you must rely on other people to be able to do things. Like I rely on I don't know the people uh, at the power plant to keep electricity coming to my house, right? There's like level of that concept, but for most like day-to-day activities, um, it's just easier if I just do them instead of asking people to help me out. Um, a lot of the time, whenever I have to work my doubles and I don't have a lot of time to go home, I'll send a text to my family little group chat, say, hey, can anyone take care of the pets for me? I can't get home right now. And as I'm typing it, I'm thinking, no matter what, if they answer, if they answer yes, if they answer no, out of those three options, either way, it's not gonna get fucking done. And I send it anyway, just for the little glimmer of hope in me that thinks maybe they'll have a brain and do the thing I'm asking them to do. And doesn't really happen a whole lot. Doesn't really happen a whole lot. And it's one of it's one of those things where you think like, why can't you just do it and do it right? You know what I mean? Like what is stopping you? My brother has this thing where they take directives very, very seriously. I had just learned of a story in which my mother told them to go to the store and get a bunch of bananas, and they return with a bunch, like 7 or 8 bunches of bananas, because they thought bunch was the term for quantity instead of the term for a group of bananas, like a you know what I mean? That's what I mean when they say when they take things over, and they do stuff like that all the time. And I do mean all the time. And I've learned just to not ask them to go do things, or to I just don't ask them things in general, because no matter what it is, no matter if it's go buy something, or if it's can you clean up something, or can you feed the dogs, it'll always get done wrong. And that's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Especially because I know when the tasks at hand are not that difficult to complete. So I end up just doing them myself. I begrudgingly do them myself at the end. 'Cause I'll come home and I realize they're not done, get really upset, and then just go do them. And I mean, I've just realized that, yeah, if I want something done correctly and I want it done right, I just have to do it myself. And honestly, I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that being the reality that I live in right now. Because I don't really like having to rely on other people, and I also like being in control of things, actively doing the tasks that need to be done, and um not delegating my responsibilities. I don't I don't like that concept. So whenever I uh whenever I come home and I like today, I asked my mom, I said, "Hey, can you go to the store? I know you're on your way to the store. Can you return this item for me, please?" And I call her later, and she goes, "Oh no, I forgot to do that." It makes me upset. It makes me upset because I asked you to do something and it's not done. And then I snap back to my good old philosophy of, if I want it done and I want it done right, I have to do it myself. The moral of this one, sometimes it's okay to just have to rely on yourself for damn near everything. And sometimes it's not. And if you need to have that conversation with whoever and tell them, "Hey, I need you to be way more reliable," you should do that. For me, this is immediate family, so that's not going to work. But maybe it's different for you. Thank you.